It's gone midnight, but it's done. I finished it at some point this afternoon. I've been using it for the last couple of hours just to stress test it, but it's finally finished. New cable appeared, thanks Amazon Prime. Right, let's quickly run through this very, very quickly because it's late and I'm tired. So, we have 3 switches on the back, well, a push button and a momentary button and 2 switches. This switch on the side, this flicks between the 32 gig, which is the SD card you can kind of see here, and the second card, which is mounted underneath. I'll quickly run you through the chain. So in the SD port there, this is going to be a focusing nightmare, here we go. In the SD port there is a little SD extender that comes out, the little brown cable goes out and then back in. So it comes out of the silver port here and then out the shell and back in. That then goes on top of the board and you can just see it poking through there. Kind of just through that clear section. It comes out, back in and over the top. And then I've attached it to the top of those switches. That then connects to this dogleg SD card switcher. So there's 2 switches, 2 SD cards attached in a sort of L shape. The 32 gig is the white one on top, 64 gig underneath, but in exactly the same position. And then there were 3 points up here, which had a tiny little micro switch on top, which I desoldered. These 3 points now come down, these 3 wires, and then back out and underneath to this switch here. So that is the 64 gig position, that is the 32 gig position. And that's the whole switching system. It's really, really basic, really, really simple. This switch here, even simpler, comes out on a, the positive comes out, goes to the fan, and I've rigged up a little, all of this has got like a little hot swap system, so I actually soldered pins on, so I can actually take it in and out. It's modular, so I can take it in and out without desoldering. I can just unclip, just unslide it and slide it back on, including the fan, the switching system, everything is all modular. So it goes from the switch, from here, the little red one comes out, goes to the switch, then out the switch to the fan, then back down the black ground here. The on-off momentary button, it's press once to on, press twice to off, hold to reset. That goes to the green and the yellow right here. Also, I have, again modular, these 2 switches here, these 2 little drive lights here. I've got a blue one and a yellow one. The blue one is for the 64 gig and the yellow one is for the 32 gig. The reason being, I wanted a nice blue one for the arcade RetroPie multi system, and the yellow one I wanted for the Amiga because the Amiga had a yellow drive light. Very, very, very basic setup. It could not be simpler, but it's taken a long time to get it working because of the amount of space. The footprint is tiny. Like, this is a small machine. Where's the computer mouse? Here we go. Computer mouse. This is a small machine and it's got quite a lot packed into it. It also, because of the fan, stays nice and cool, so I can do DS, Dreamcast, PS1, whatever, N64, and it never gets too hot, which is great. So, let's have a quick look. At the moment, I'm in 32 gig mode, so I want to click it to 64 gig, and I want to turn the fan on. All right, let's go plug it in very, very quickly. And the last time I tried to do this, friggin' Bixby came on, so I'm just going to put you down for a second. Okay, plug in the HDMI, plug in the power, right, on, and plug in that. Anytime, on. Right, so I've got a nice blue drive light. Look at that, oh my goodness, so good. And that's booting up quite nicely. Up here, focus, damn it. No, okay, anyway, back to the drive light. Look at that thing. Oh, so good. It's nice and bright. I like the fact that it somehow reflects off those yellow wires inside. So it gives it kind of like an old 90s like quasar laser look. It's so cool. Anyway, so now we're here and we can just go through. And what was I playing? I was playing, the last thing I was playing was the some guy called Zoron has taken the completely unedited, Resident Evil 1 cutscenes and put it back into Resident Evil. It's so good. Yeah, I was super impressed. So it's like all the really colour, because it was all black and white and heavily edited when it was, you know, the director's cut, which is ridiculous. Anyway, he's made it back. So anyway, you can see it's running. So I'm running PlayStation 1 stuff at the minute. Let's quickly do there we are, Zorlon, that's his name. Yeah, this is a really, really good version of Resident Evil 1. Like a really good version. I've played a couple of hours of it, it's pretty good. Anyway, so here's what we're going to do. We are going to hit the shutdown button, and it's going to go into the shutdown sequence, like that. All gone. Simples. And when it's quite finished mucking about, get my hand back there, I'm going to click it to the 32 gig, and then I'm going to switch it back on. Yellow drive light, just like the Amiga. And look, Amiga Kickstart. I quickly made that in paint.net, threw that on there. Yellow drive light. Oh, I really like that. It's such a simple thing. And there we are. But into now an Amiga Workbench front end. And as you can see, got quite a few disk images on there. Oh, yep. I am super duper 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 happy with that. Really, really like it. So I've got essentially 2 Raspberry Pis in one case because I've got the SD switching card system. Finally did it. Oh, super happy with it. I'm going to spend quite a lot of time with this, I think. Anyway, night night. Peace.